Mike's been involved with Toastmasters New Zealand website since 2009 and former webmaster for District 112 since 2021. He believes social media works, but only if searchers can find it. The session shows how to use search products to make the social content more easily found so it can become the book containing our stories. The web can be technical. A founding brief of the session was to use English. So with that, please welcome Mike Diggins.
Thank you very much, Mark. Good afternoon again, everyone. And again, I don't see any timing, which makes me dangerous, so I'll set my timer up for 20 minutes. While I'm putting a share together, I'd like to thank Fred for doing some of my job for me, which was great. Hang on, I shouldn't be doing that. Stop that. All right, let's try that again. We've covered one of the possible social medias, but there are literally dozens of them. How do we keep control, and how do we see which your club is actually using, and how do we get people to make that comparison about where they might want to go? In other words, how do we work out where we're going to tell our stories? Well, last week, I heard the Invisible Fair was coming to town. I wanted to go. In the end, I didn't. I couldn't see the attraction. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Invisible Fair. Even if we persuade someone to go once to join us, a smaller and smaller number stay, as we've already heard. That's one reason I still have the webmaster role. 20 years back, it would have probably passed to the next generation by now, and actually 15 years ago it did. This afternoon, what have I been asked to talk about? Yes, how to write the book. Two things: web presence and search optimizing or search engine optimization. That's about as much jargon as you're going to get in this presentation, I hope. I've been asked to do this in around about 15 minutes to leave some time for some questions, and I've been asked to speak English, not techies, and that gives me a problem. Not speaking English. But each of these subjects needs several hours lecture time and much more practice time to be effective. However, I'm going to use something. I've been asked a lot of questions about as my time as webmaster and IT support. And I'd say 9 out of 10 are people looking for starting points. Now, you've heard quite a few from Fred about Facebook. It's little triggers that you can then go deeper if you want to. So that's what I'm going to try and cover. The practical ideas behind the theory, what links have proved helpful, particularly for me, and a few tips that have helped me want to understand more detail. I want you leaving this session with an idea of why you think taking this further would be helpful in the promotion of your clubs. If need be, we can always cover details by specific workshops if there is interest. The first thing, though, is to understand what optimization actually is. It's something that you do to help make sure that your searchers see your site in what they are looking for, which means you've got to know what they are looking for. And it's something that you do, which is why it has heaps of consultants and its own for dummies book. It's what Google was built on. Very, very simply, originally it ranked pages by how closely together 3 or more keywords occurred on a page. That's still important, but actually, if you need a plumber, you don't want to see someone in the US or India ranked over your local guy, do you? He's going to take a while to arrive. So enter in 2020 local optimization or local SEO. What this does is it takes that original optimization concept and adds the distance, the pages from your location. The closer it is, the higher it appears on the rankings. Originally, you had to use plumber near me to use that example, and now just the single word plumber will do. To see it in action, turn your location on when you've got time to do so, and just search for Toastmasters. Just that one word. Now, without local SEO, we'd see a lot more clubs outside of Auckland and outside of New Zealand because they'd be getting more hits. We push New Zealand up the rankings. On those lists, a little way down, you'll see a map. You'll always see this. If you zoom in and out, which you can do, the number of clubs that you'll see with the little red dots will change. But you'll always see the markers A, B, and C. Why is that? These are the three closest with Google business profiles defined. And this is part of the effect of a good web presence. Now, you may or may not have heard of the website google.co.jp. But you've heard of the web presence, Google, right? It's in front of you every day. You only go to the JP, the Japanese site, if you want a specifically Japanese perspective. Google Business Profile, I mentioned, it does an awful lot for you, and it does it from this address. You'll need to download the slide deck and open it for editing before that's an active link, but you can do it. What the profile does for you, it pulls together all the places where you want members and prospects into one place. It adds photos and reviews. I mean, my wife won't go anywhere unless the destination's being reviewed. It adds descriptions. It's a chance to put your club's unique selling proposition. What's unique about your club as Mark's story tree in front of interested prospects who are just searching for Toastmasters. Well, did I mention it was free? Just look it up and get into the instructions. Allow about 30 minutes for basic setup and verification. If you do nothing more as a result of hearing this, get your business profile going. It provides the starting point that people look for, because you can include your website, your Facebook page, your TikTok page, your Instagram feed, your this, that, the other, your A to Z of social media, all in one place. And immediately they've got what they are, the social media channel that they're interested in. You don't have to direct them into the one that you're interested in. If they don't do Facebook, they don't have to look at Facebook. But maybe they do Instagram to see what's going on there. That starting point puts you right at the end of the queue. But who wants to be at the end of the queue? We want our web presence to be better than our competitors, right? And that means tuning your local SEO. Putting your storytelling places in front of the competition's storytelling places. It also means knowing what your prospects are looking for and ensuring, as far as you can, that they find it on your site first. Oh dear, he said, everybody's thinking he's going to get into jargon again. No, it doesn't. It means setting up the Google search console. The only piece of jargon here is from Google. It refers to websites as properties. And when you think of it, it's dealing with businesses and it's dealing with physical locations, then that's no bad thing. The rest of it is not particularly difficult. If you pay for web hosting, you set up the domain. If you don't pay, if you've got something like FreeToast Host, you set up the homepage. This means that you can actually set this up on FreeToast Host sites, though it's not, as far as I know, on EasySpeak. Sorry, guys. Whichever method you use, domain or homepage, you need administrator access to that page. So you need to be to know who owns the website and set that up properly. It's about 20 minutes to set up, and that's 10 to read the instructions, 5 to read them again, and 5 to actually do it. Now, the Search Console gives you who searched for what and with what. And it gives you that all by clicking one Export to Excel button. For example, I look at the district website and I click that button and it tells me that about 40% of searches have been made from mobile devices, only 2% from tablets. It tells me the most popular search term was a single word, Toastmasters. 80% of searches came from New Zealand. The next best was the US, and that's probably Amazon and Google and Microsoft sending out their crawlers to find out who's done something new today. It also tells me that of the times that it was presented in the results of a query, only 1 in 25 resulted in a click on the district homepage. 1 in 25. And that tells me some optimization is needed. And that's the final step. To take that step, we need to explore Google Search Central. We don't actually need to do anything here particularly, but this gives you a blueprint for setting up your optimization properly. It shows you how to check your site is visible using the site keyword, how to use page titles to describe your site to Google, because if Google doesn't understand it, how the heck do you expect people searching to? It shows you how to draw Google's attention to high-level headings and the keywords they contain, such as Toastmasters and public speaking, confidence, how to draw attention to those level 1 headings, a bit like the H1s in Word. And it shows you a lot more. 10 minutes will get you hopefully drawn into this page, this progression of things you can do to describe your site better to Google. And then you need a few wet afternoons to play with the ideas on it. But at the end, it'll help you get noticed. Now, I would be very, very remiss if I didn't mention Search Central and left you to find Tim Calett's excellent local SEO Bible by yourselves. This is actually on the district website, on that link. And it's linked in from the resource library in the publicity section. This ebook works with Search Central. It expands on what that tells you, but it extends it to cover the importance of using proper titles. If your page titles don't include Toastmasters, a search for Toastmasters won't find your pages. It's that simple. The importance of business categories on your profile. I mean, what do you really do? And this comes in again with the story tree. What is your reason for being? It covers using well-described images, and that means alternate text. If you haven't heard of that, have a look at it on Google. It's essential to let images do the same thing in searches as text do. And Kenneth is going to tell you about a funnel very shortly. And this tells you how to use it. Publicity channels need to work together. So this is all about a bit of reading, followed by a bit of applying, and a bit of waiting for the results. Allow yourself as many 30 to 60-minute chunks to do this as is fun for you. How much you read is up to you, but I suggest making your first target the first couple of chapters, 11 pages. Now, I think we've done just under 15 minutes, so we have a few minutes for questions. If you've got any other questions that you'd like to ask, when I get this right, you can always find me on Webmaster at D112TM, and hopefully most of you know that. But for the moment, do we have any questions from the floor?
Well, Sherman here. I have a question. Every club has a email address with d112tm.org.nz. Who gets that email inside the club? Which offices? Thank you.
I didn't quite catch the idea behind that. And can you just repeat that question?
I can repeat it for you, Mike. He said,
yes, if you would. It's that's a lot easier. There seems to be quite a bit of echo here, and you've just heard I've got selective hearing.
He said the email alias to the club, to which offices does it go?
Oh, okay. The email alias goes to every single current officer. That's everyone you've got defined at Club Central. If you change that, then that will take maybe a couple of weeks to permeate through. So get on to Tony on the admin line if your change is urgent. There's good reason for that. About 3 years ago, we had the ability to just use certain officers for publicity channels, and then Toastmasters said you've got to use it for pathways as well. And that meant 5 out of 7 officers, 2 base camps, 3 base camps, VPPO and VP membership were getting it. So the trio made the decision to send it to all. So that's who receives those. Right. Okay. Any further questions? I don't have. Let's see. Do I have anything from the chat?
Hello. Okay. I have a question. If I want to do SEO, do I should specify domain means independence website?
Yeah, I think I'm suffering an awful lot from this echoing. James, can you translate, please?
No, that one was too. Can you give a mic to that member, please?
Yeah, not me.
In the meantime, Mike, when's your training session, demonstration going to be organised?
When someone asked for it.
Oh, well, I'm asking for it.
Yeah, I think there's an awful lot of information in what I've just supplied. But as I said right at the start, I'm asked for starting points. So the more starting points I can give, the better. It's up to you to take those starting points and run with them. What have we actually looked at this time round? Because only you are the expert on your site. We've looked at the process of helping search engines understand us.
Michael Isbell has a question.
All right, we've got time for one more question.
So actually the end of the session, but the last question. If I want to do SEO, do I need a separate domain name for the net?
I got do I need something, but I didn't get what that was. My apologies.
Domain name.
On Free Toast Host, you mean? Not necessarily. you could just go with clubnumber.toastmastersclubs.org. You certainly don't need a separate domain to operate a site like that. Of course, if you use your own hosting, and you need your own domain, but that's another matter entirely. But it was very gratifying to find that Free Toast Host works with the Google to try and make this as transparent and easy as possible. And
So,
also,
Mike, can I just pick up on that a little bit further? So you're saying you want Google search engine to be optimized to find my website. What is my website? Is it
the website that you're trying to direct traffic to, because it's got all the good stuff about your club on it.
So is that like Free Toast Host, for example?
Could
Or
be
is that
Free Toast Host, yep.
Or Facebook?
Probably not Facebook, because you've still got to have that. Google's got to understand about the site that you're using, but certainly certainly Free Toast Host. That's a good thing. How do you get? It's one for you to answer yourself. Actually, how do you get Facebook working with those profiles?
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Okay, that's about it. I think you'll find this presentation along with the rest in the page for this workshop in a day or so. So yeah, grab hold of them and have fun. I did.
Thank you.